Hello everyone, it's Junie checking back in with you regarding summer wells. And I'm here to remind you that you are all magical. And you are especially magical to me. So we're going to look at a few aerial views around Summer Wells' area that also rule Aquarius. Like Bays Mountain, a couple of other locations like railroad tracks. Also areas that might be quarries or waterways that are also important in Summer Wells' case, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the astrology is concerned. Areas that have fresh water, fresh drinking water, areas that might have electricity running through them. We're also going to look for reservoirs. That would be a prime location for where summer wells could possibly be found. Now, I know I'm still learning, but I have been testing myself on cases that have already been solved and checking if I can give a description of what the surrounding areas is going to look like that a body may be found in. I've been right. So I test myself with cases that have already been solved, where bodies have been found, and I go through the astrology, just picking out a name where I know that a body has been found, but I don't know much about the case, and then doing the astrology and checking where the DNA, basically it's the line of Saturn that we are trying to figure out. And I'm anywhere between. I have the environment down. So when I say that she's an Aquarius, I feel very confident about the description of the area that Summer Wells is going to be found in is going to match Aquarius. Also rules the color turquoise, blue, light grays, lighter pastel-y colors that rule Aquarius is all she might be found near one of these colors as well. Also interested if there is railroad tracks around this park area where the horses were kept. And, these are areas that the killer may work or once lived. If there's any railroad tracks near this area, we would really need to search them, including areas where the canopy of the tree breaks, the tree line breaks, off the beaten path, just where the tree line from the path breaks off, like that little area right there. Summer astrology has a few indicators that she's near water. I wouldn't say in water, but it's possible. When you look at her natal chart, now I've looked at a few natal charts, and it's very difficult because we don't have a time of birth for her. But if I'm looking at one of her charts where it shows that she's an Aquarius in the 8th house, this shows that Summer Wells would be very spiritual, a very spiritual little girl. And this is, if astrology can give clues to how you may pass. And the 8th house is one of the houses that we look at. There's a few houses that we're supposed to look at, but this is one of them. And with her having Aquarius in the 8th house, this kind of, matches. It also says that she would know who took her. She would know the people that harmed her or were involved in this accident. It would be part of either her family's friends groups. Because remember, Aquarius rules the 11th house, and the 11th house rules friend groups. People that your parents would be friends with, something along those lines. That's if we have the right natal chart. I do not know if I have the right time of birth. This is just one of the charts that I looked at. Libra is on the DC line earlier in the day, and Libra also rules neighbors. It rules people in your community. The 11th house on her natal chart says it could be people in her local community that are responsible for her disappearing. So the astrology does match up with the situation for Summer Wells. And I just want to break down more of other locations that Aquarius also rules. Like I said, breaks in the tree line where the canopy just opens up a little bit off of a beaten path. Now, I'm not accusing any neighbors of doing anything wrong here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if I have the right natal chart, that, and I don't know if I do. It's a hypothesis. It's a guess, okay? That it would be someone in her local community that would have a lot of anger directed towards Don Wells. Mars is square. And if you're familiar with astrology, you know square means that there's friction that goes right to Don and the boys. Okay? There would have been anger directed towards Don. So this is not a complete stranger that walked up to that house and did something to Summer. As far as the astrology is concerned, between her natal chart and the crime chart, I do feel that these things do back up. A Libra is also someone in her local community, because Libra rules neighbors in your local area. Also, it rules open enemies and relationships. So someone that there's a possible relationship with as well. And like I said, with all that anger directed towards Don Wells and the boys, this would be someone that they possibly exchanged words with. If you go off of what Hunter said, Hunter has never changed his story about Don Wells kicked someone off the property that day, although the Wells deny this now. However, Hunter has never changed a storyline. Now, regarding Hunter, Hunter has always maintained his same story. His storyline has not changed. Unlike the Wells, their storyline has continued to change. Do you see these breaks in the landscape? That also rules Aquarius on this map. Where the tree line breaks, where there's like a road, and think about it. A killer, someone who needs to get rid of a decomposing body. Of course, I don't want to think of Summer Wells like this. This is hypothetical. Now, this is just in my opinion, but with the astrology, Aquarius rules off the road into the woods where the canopy of the trees break. And if you look all around this area, there's so many areas like this. If you look at Fields Road, you can see where there's a path, where there's a road, and then you would walk into the tree line, and it would be right where the canopy just has a little break, where Summer might be able to look up and see the stars, because there's a break in the tree line. Same thing with ditches. A ditch breaks the canopy of the trees, right? Things of this nature, if that makes any sense to you. Cricks as well. They break the canopy of the tree line, which is all Aquarius. Reservoirs, same thing. Rivers, ponds, lakes. There's a break in the tree line, if that makes any sense. Now with Hunter, he has never changed his story. It has always remained the same, unlike the Wells. Burger King was also mentioned as a location that they went to. Now, Candace has never mentioned Burger King before. Maybe it's just a small detail that's been overlooked. I'm not sure. But you'd think that as a mother of a missing child, every minuscule detail would be scrutinized and gone over and over and over again. I would think if I was the mother of Summer Wells, I'd be going to every store that I went to that day and begging them for a copy of the video of the parking lot and me walking around the store because my daughter went missing that day. And I would want to back up my story with these claims and post it on my channel. That's all I'm saying. All of these Wells supporters want us to believe that the Wells are innocent, even though the police have not cleared them as a possible suspect. No one's been cleared as suspects. All suspects have come on YouTube, and like Jody Sue Brown, she is on YouTube every single night, okay? Every single night, she goes on YouTube and speaks for hours and hours and talks in circles and talks in riddles. And she expects us to only hear her side of it. The Wells expect us to only hear their side of it. Now, Hunter, he doesn't come on that much. So when we do hear him, I'm grateful. People like Fred Hill, even though he's considered a suspect, I am still grateful and want to hear his side. Remember, Don Wells is considered a third-party contact in this whole scenario the day that Summer Wells went missing. He was supposedly not there, so he claims that he was working, although the astrology says that he was in front of the boys all day. The astrology shows him at home. I believe that he was going in and out that day, and that he is conjunct Mercury, which means that he is conjunct Summer Wells's siblings, meaning that he's with them, okay? Now, if there's a railroad track around here near this water, I would be very interested in that. Is that a railroad track? Or is that a path? Can't tell. Anyway, regarding Hunter bringing up Burger King and all this other stuff, now that looks like a trail. But is that telephone wires or a railroad track? It's kind of a faded line. No, I think it's a path. If there's any railroad tracks near here, they would need to be searched. Because again, railroad tracks have electricity. There's usually a conduit that, electrical box. And trains are run by electricity. There's a railroad track. Does that go off to the water? See that railroad track? That is a prime spot for a Summer Wells location because it rules Aquarius, okay? And look, it's right near this park that they went swimming at. Hemlock Road. All this, off that railroad, look, it goes right near the water, okay? So Summer Wells would be near water, and all this, with the railroad track there, and it's near that Duck Island, which I've heard them mention Duck Island a few times. Actually, my spirit boxes have come through at Duck Island before. That's a prime location for me right there. I would definitely mark that. Excuse me. The railroad bridge, absolutely. Or if there's a bridge or if there's any railroad tracks there would need to be searched. Absolutely. And look how close they are to the water. Wow. Yeah. See? Now, I'm not saying that the people in these houses did anything. I'm saying that the killer could have placed her in these areas and that the killer would frequent these areas or live near them. Okay? That's all that means. So, yeah, that's a hot spot to me. Highway bridges, railroad bridges is all prime locations to me. So with Hunter, we learned about the Burger King thing the other day. Now, a lot of people hate Andrew. Okay, he's not Father of the Year, but he's never claimed to be. I'm not Mother of the Year either. I don't claim to be. There's not one YouTuber on YouTube speaking on behalf of Summer Wells that is perfect. I'm sorry. None of us are perfect. Okay? Many of us are flawed. But for the Wells supporters to be freaking out about Hunter, it just doesn't make sense. Because we're only supposed to listen to what? Don Wells' side? When he's the third-party contact. He says he wasn't there. Yet he's the only story that we're supposed to absorb. And F everyone else, right? That doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to listen to when Fred Hill speaks. I'm going to listen to when Laura speaks. I'm going to listen. Sadly, I have to listen to Jody Sue speak in riddles because I do want to hear what they have to say. But I understand how people get upset. People like Jody Sue and Hunter, here's my advice. Here's what I would say. And Andrew Barnett and Fred Hill, instead of doing this YouTube stuff, set up an account, go maybe on Facebook or even YouTube, have a statement that people can watch over and over again. Turn off the comment section. Turn off the comment section completely. Make your statement. Say your piece. Go over what you remembered that day. And then put a GoFundMe at the bottom of it. Then you don't get all this hate and your statement is out there. And it's out there. This is what you said. And nobody can go back and change it. And then all these YouTube channels can just keep going to that one Facebook page or that one YouTube channel that's got the comment section turned off that has your statement. And if they'd like to give you a donation, they can, because there's your GoFundMe page. And then it cuts down on all the drama, all right? So, Andrew, that would be my only advice to you. That makes more sense to me, that you would have your son, and Allie, I hope she's doing well. I'm sending prayers to her as well. But that you just make a blank statement. And that's your statement. It never changes. It's just there. Same with Jody Sue Brown. That's what she should be doing. She gets pissed off that anyone else asks for money about Summer Wells, but she's got her freaking Cash App plastered at the bottom of her face. It's hypocritical. I mean, at least Hunter looked sober during the other day. He was sober, and he had a shirt on, and he looked like he showered, and he wasn't drunk. And he's not Summer's father. And he looks better than Don Wells and Candace on their interviews. Not to be rude, but come on, Don. You can at least wear a shirt. Nobody wants to see your nipples when you're discussing your daughter. It's creepy. Okay? If you want to have Cash Apps sent to you, you're letting the cow lady make money off of you. Go set up a GoFundMe. And then you stay off YouTube, you make your statement, you say what happened, and then you put a GoFundMe at the bottom of it. Period. That's it. That's the end of it. Then all this YouTube drama can just stop. And for the Wells supporters, make them look innocent. Tell them if they want to come on and do an interview to put a shirt on. They're speaking on behalf of their daughter and to be sober. So yeah, I gave a donation to Hunter, and I don't mean to raise my voice. If I had more money, I would have given more. If I could have bought some of Mary's quilts, I would have bought all of Mary's quilts. Okay? Because that's the kind of person I am. And if I had the money, I'd send the Wells to rehab too. I would. I would send them to rehab and pay for a lawyer to get them a divorce. And go to codependency classes and go seek counseling for codependency. Because I know that if they could get away from each other, that this toxic relationship could possibly, we could get a straight answer from them. Because this toxicity is why we can't get a statement. Same with Andrew Barnett. Make your statement, set up a GoFundMe, and then put a period at the end of it and shut off the comments section. Because you're just going to get nothing but hate anyway. But if somebody wanted to donate to you, it's anonymous and it's set up on a GoFundMe, okay? That's all I'm saying. Adding into the YouTube drama, I get it. But every channel is into the YouTube drama. Any creator that has mentioned Summer Wells' name has been paid somehow. So it's kind of like, don't point a finger at Hunter when you got 3 coming right back at you. And I'm not trying to be mean to any creator. I love everybody. I got no problem with everybody. I'm just speaking what's on my heart. Seriously. Don't shame Hunter for exactly what the Wells are doing every day, what Jody Sue does every day, what Andy Barnett does every day, what Fred Hill has done. Everyone has made money a little bit somehow, tweaked it a little bit. And if Hunter is on the straight and narrow and he's sober and he's staying out of trouble, hell yeah, I would donate to that boy. And if it took paying for the Wells to go to rehab, I would do it. And I'd pay for a divorce attorney too. Because all I want is a sober, straight answer. Even when Don Wells does his news interviews and he has on a button-collared shirt and he's not sitting there talking about his daughter with his belly and his nipples hanging out with a drunk, okay? Even when he looks sober, we all know that they are not. And don't tell me that Candace had a stroke and blah, 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 blah. Listen. My husband had 2 strokes and he struggled with alcoholism for years. Years my husband struggled with alcoholism and had 2 strokes and brain damage. Don't tell me. I know exactly what a stroke victim sounds like when they're drunk. And it sounds like Candace Wells. So don't tell me it's because she had a stroke. You know damn well she's drinking, so stop denying it and stop making excuses for them. We need them to have a clear and sober mind. They have to pass 3 drug tests in order to even get 1 hour visitation back of their kids. 3 drug tests and alcohol clear tests. They can't test positive for alcohol either. 3 in a row. 3 sober drug tests, alcohol tests in a row, in order to make a phone call. Candace threatens to kidnap the boys and leave the country. That's not gonna help you get your boys back. See where like this crevices in the landscape, how it opens up the tree canopy, areas like that rules Aquarius too. So Candace threatens to kidnap the kids and run off to another country. That's a threat. Instead of paying your court fees, getting a job at McDonald's, okay, working at Burger King, I don't care. Work at the dollar store. Get sober. Stop drinking completely. Pass your test. Pay your child support, which isn't much. Stop buying alcohol and cigarettes. And put your nose to the grind and do what they've asked you to do. CPS is very specific and clear. They give you a letter of compliance in order for you to be able to even talk to your kids again. Instead of threatening to kidnap them, go get a job at McDonald's and check yourself into a rehab. They need a 30-day program. And the Wells supporters, if you want them to look innocent, then help them look innocent. Acknowledge their faults and help them. I don't even like them, but I would still send them to rehab. I pray that they're innocent daily. I'm very torn on the Wells. I go back and forth with the Wells. I go back and forth with Jody Sue. I even go back and forth with Fred. I'm only human. Everyone's a suspect. But out of all the people that I'd give money to, I don't have a problem giving to Mary. I don't have a problem giving to Hunter. There's a lot of victims after Summer Wells has disappeared. Many people are suffering from this child's disappearance. It's awful. A lot of lives have been destroyed. And I'm sorry. It's because the Wells can't give a damn straight answer. And Andy Barnett, how the hell do you not remember which car you drove that day? What do you have, a Lamborghini, a limo, a Bentley, a Biaggi, whatever those cars are, I don't even know what they're called. A Porsche? You got a whole rack of keys to choose from every day? Come on. How do you not remember? Now, I know you work in auto mechanics, but if you're on film that day, and, you know, okay, of course we're supposed to take his boss's word for it. Okay, thank you, Andy's boss. Thank you for being, it seems like they say he's a great citizen. I think that's wonderful that Andy's boss is a nice guy and an upstanding citizen. But can we see the film? Can anybody come forward with any film evidence? Does anybody have any dash cam footage of seeing Summer in a car, in a truck that day, with Hunter sitting in the back seat with her? I mean, has anybody checked their dash cams? And look, if she was human trafficked, look how many states are near here. Look at all these states that are right next door. There's a lot. Couple hour drive, she's in another state. But I truly believe she's not out of the 26 miles range of the astrology. The astrology has her at the most 26 miles. So from ground zero, which is 110 Bin Hill Road, out 26 miles. This waterway here, I would look at this waterway. And if it goes or wraps around Bays Mountain, like, if you're going to look for Summer around Bays Mountain, don't park where all the tourists go and go to Bays Mountain. You want to go off the beaten path where if there's any roads surrounding this mountain that somebody could turn off and take a back route into Bays Mountain. Nobody would take a body where, public parking is. You want to find an area that's secluded, that nobody goes around. If she's on Bay Mountain, she wouldn't be on the most traveled path. She'd be off the beaten path in a secret, hidden area, not where all the regular trails are. So if you're going to search Bay Mountain, think about it as if you were a killer, okay? If you were trying to get rid of remains that began to decompose, you would not take a body anywhere near an area that had people. You would go the back way, the back trails, the trails that are overgrown and nobody goes down. That's where you would put a body. So think like a killer. If you're going to go to Bays Mountain, go where nobody else would go. If you're going to look for her. And search for ditches and creeks, waterways, reservoirs, where the tree line breaks. That's all Aquarius. And also, if she is in a house, let's say that the kidnapper or the people that harmed her or had anything to do with her, if she was in a house, she would be in the upper areas of the house. Like the attic, or where the track lighting would be kept, because Aquarius rules electricity, where the electrical box would be in a closet. She could be, and this house would be near water. It would be near a place that's near a creek or a river. And if you look at the maps, there's plenty of reservoirs, there's plenty of creeks, and there's plenty of crevices. If she was in a house, she'd be either near, like, if they had like a fountain in their backyard, like let's say they built like one of those fish ponds or something like that, she'd be near something like that. She'd be near the lighting, or if there's any electricity out in their yard, she'd be near that. If she was inside the house, she'd be in the upper areas of the house, even on the roof. So it's just something to consider. That's just the astrology of it, okay? So this is all I have for now. That reservoir does look interesting to me near Bays Mountain. I hope they search that area as well. Okay. Blessings to you all. Blessed be. Sorry I kind of vented a little bit, but just cut someone saying to me, like, why would you give a donation to Hunter? They're not one of my subscribers. I think I got to take my email down. I don't know. I took my phone number down. I did do that. But, I'm a grown woman. I can donate my money to whoever I want to donate my money to. I'm 50 years old. Like I said, as long as he's on the straight and narrow, I don't have a problem with it. So, I don't know. You guys can judge me or hate me all you want, but I would. I'd donate to Mary. I'd buy her quilts. If I had the money, none of you guys would have anything to worry about. But, I'm limited. So, all right. I just wanted to explain myself and talk about other areas that rule Aquarius, and to kind of think outside the box a little bit with Aquarius, because it's probably one of the worst signs for a victim to be in my personal opinion. Virgo is easier because, Chiron Harmon, he's in Virgo. It means that he's in a shallow grave in the woods, okay? That he's in the earth. Aquarius is vast. It's way more vast, and a lot of our victims show up in Aquarius. And it's difficult because it rules so many areas. What it does specify is that it would be in a scenic area. It would be beautiful. Rolling hills, cliffs, things like that. That would be her view. And possible mountains in her view as well. So, Capricorn is a much easier placement to find a body. Pisces is way easier to find a body. We know they're in water. With Aquarius, it rules waterways. And there's so many waterways, sewers, septic tanks, ponds, creeks, lakes, rivers, concrete runoffs, right? That's Aquarius too. Dams that have electricity going through them, railroad tracks, like all that is Aquarius. It is so vast when we say that a body is located in Aquarius, okay? Now, again, this is my opinion only on the astrology alone, all right? So, you can't go ahead and harass the police for this stuff. They don't believe in it. So far, only Germany and Canada are the only ones that have actually have taken a request from me and written down a statement from me about the astrology. Canada is very open to astrology, believe it or not. So that's all I have for now. All right. So I just wanted to explain myself and then also go into more detail about how complicated Aquarius can be for a placement for a victim. All right. Blessings to you all. Take care now. Bye-bye. Bless be.